Hello dear students, once again this is Teacher Alfred, and right now we're going to talk about a certain topic in writing the research na kung saan sinasabi ng maraming estudyante na napakahirap gawin. At ang part na ito ng research na tinutukoy ko ay walang iba kundi yung tinatawag nating Review of Related Literature and Studies o yung tinatawag din nating RRL at some point. Kadalasan, ito ay nakikita sa Chapter 2 ng isang full-blown research paper o kaya naman dun sa ibang format ng ibang colleges or university, ito ay nakikita sa Chapter 1. Ngayon, sa episode na ito or sa puntong ito, pag-usapan natin kung ano nga ba yung review of related literature at ano yung mga pwede natin gawin na mga tips or pwede nating sundin na mga tips para masigurado natin na una, nagagawa natin ito ng tama, pangalawa ay nagiging madali yung proseso ng paggawa natin. Ang sabi nga ng mga eksperto, ang paggawa ng RRL, kamukha ng isang buong research, ay masasabi natin isang proseso. So, hindi ito minamadali. Kasi ang problema, marami akong nakikita sa online or sa YouTube, kung maaari, na kaya daw natin gawin ito ng overnight, no? O yung tinatawag nating paspasan. Sa totoo lang, pwede namang gawin, kaya nga lang, everything that is done with haste, ang nagsasuffer yung tinatawag nating accuracy and precision. So sa puntong ito, hayaan ninyong ipaliwanag ko at tulungan ko kayo gamit ang kaunti kong nalalaman patungkol sa pagsusulat ng review at related literature kung paano natin ito magagawa nang hindi minamadali at kahit papaano nasusunod natin yung mga points na dapat nating isinaalang-alang. So once again, I'm going to tell you about writing the review of related literature the easy way possible. So tignan natin, ano nga ba ang literature review? Sabi dito, ang literature review daw is a collection of related studies and information coming from international journals, books, or even reputable websites. So ibig sabihin, ang mga impormasyon na ilalagay mo rito ay dapat hango sa mga international reputable journals, sa mga libro, at kahit dun sa mga website na sabihin natin connected sa gobyerno or connected sa mga universities. You start with that. Kapag halimbawa, yan ang source mo, well, definitely, you are in the right place or you are getting the information from the right place. Okay? Sunod, sabi daw, it usually precedes a full-length original study as a way of introducing the general topic. Kadalasan, sa review of related literature, naglalagay ka rin dyan ng mga pwedeng thesis o kaya naman mga study na galing ka mo dun sa mga nabanggit natin kanina na mga sources. Okay? Ano ulit ang purpose nito? Ang purpose or the purpose is to help support the background of the study and establish all the related information the reader needs to understand why the study is worth pursuing. In the review of related literature, parang expanded form of the introduction na kung saan, sige, sa introduction, nandun yung status ko, no? Pero sa review of related literature, it gives you the bigger picture kung ano ba talaga yung nangyayari. And why is your study worth pursuing, no? And what are the other studies that could have led to you choosing to study or investigate on the topic that you have chosen. Okay? Next, the information found here should be well-researched and the sources should be reputable and validated. All throughout this episode, paulit-ulit kong sasabihin or paulit-ulit kong babanggitin na dapat reputable and validated. No? Kung maaalala natin, doon sa mga previous YouTube videos natin, pag sinabi natin reputable, palaging pumapasok yung term na peer review. O ibig sabihin, ito ay ipinablish ng mga tinatawag nating mga journal na masasabi nating mataas yung kanilang impact factor. Ibig sabihin, they are reviewed by many professionals around the world, no? And they are also validated as well. So yun ang ibig sabihin ng peer review. And finally, writing the RRL is a long process which may take weeks or even months. Ibig sabihin, mahihirapan ka if it's going to be 2 days, 3 days, or even 4 days. Minsan kasi, pagka nagsusulat ka ng RRL, yung organization ng thoughts pa lang, yung organization of ideas, it takes time. Again, from the start of the talk, we said that it is a process. So, hindi siya madali. No? Pangalawa, may mga pagkakataon that when you look at the topic or the ideas on the first day, ay hindi mo makikita kaagad yung ibang mga aspeto nito. And later on, while you are going through the study, even during the data gathering, may mga pagkakataon na kung saan meron kang nais na maidagdag doon sa RRL. Kaya nga, halimbawa sabihin natin, di ba sa proposal, usually what you show is your introduction, your review of related literature, and your methodology. May mga pagkakataon na sabihin natin, yung RRL na pinresent mo noong una, may pagkakataon na nababago pa yon. Minsan nga, sa final defense mismo ay pinapabago pa yan ng iyong panel members or ng iyong panelist. Bakit siya pinapabago? Kasi po pwedeng mayroong kulang, minsan tinatawag nila, parang ang lean pa, no, ng iyong review of related literature, sir or ma'am, dagdagan pa natin. Okay? So yun ang ibig sabihin ng kailangan na po pwede pang mabago ang iyong review of related literature. Okay? Next, there are preparations that you have to consider and you have to take. No? Sabi daw, ilan sa mga preparations na ito ay ang mga sumusunod. Una, determine whether the literature review will be quantitative. Must be theory-driven kung siya naman ay qualitative. So, magkaiba rin ang types ng sabihin nating related literature na kukunin mo pagka quantitative and qualitative yung study mo. Okay? And either choice will determine your emphasis on statistics. And also, you have to consider the topic selection and also yung narrowing. Pag sinabi nating narrowing, usually kasi pagka nag-i-start ka ng review of related literature, you start with a bigger idea down to the narrow ideas leading to your actual topic or your actual research. And then finally, you do research, and more research. For the topic selection, work with your teacher, professor, or research project mentor in selecting your research topics, no? Or sabihin natin, yung mga ideas na ilalagay mo. Kasi minsan, ito ang mistake ng mga estudyante. Sa start ng kanilang review of related literature, pagkahaba-haba ng in-spend o sinulat nila tungkol sa history. Ang review of related literature kasi ay hindi naman ito pahabaan, kundi substantial ba o yung nilagay mo ba na information doon ay masasabi natin makakatulong sa pag-build ng case mo o sa tinatawag nating pag-build ng iyong gustong gawin or gusto mong patunayan doon sa study mo. Okay? And eventually, palagi nating tatandaan na kapag halimbawa lumabas na yung resulta ng study, mapa ito ay experimental, mapa ito ay descriptive, no? Pwede tayong kumuha ng ating mga sinasabi nating supporting statement para doon sa results, doon sa RRL na nakuha mo. Kasi kung hindi ka nakakuha doon, parang useless yung nakuha mo review of related literature. Okay? Yan ang nangyari sa akin nung mismong actual research defense ko. No? And then, after that, examine a wide variety of resources for ideas on topic selection. Nandyan yung textbooks, titles and abstracts of other articles, related theories as areas for exploration, no, and scope and delimitations. Sabi natin din dito, remember to brainstorm with other individuals, particularly yung group mates mo daw, and make sure that you involve your group mates. For research strategies, sabi natin dito, search and collect all the online journal articles and other related information that you can get. Pwedeng sa libro, no? Pwedeng sa newspaper, and other reputable sources. You may write the outline later. Sabi nga ng ng tinatawag natin yung source na pinagkunan namin, which is the Sanderville University, you have to select first, no? At usually ako din naman, yan ang ginagawa ko. Ano ba yung mga journals na related sa variables na to? Ano ba yung mga journals na sabihin natin may kinalaman dito? Okay? All right. Now, it will help you if, or rather on the second bullet, correct me on that, no? Take down notes or make use of apps that will help you keep your research organized. Okay? It's something that you have to do, organization, in collecting the information. Kasi pag halimbawa may na-miss out ka dyan, may nawala ka dyan, kagaya ng sinabi natin dun sa isang episode natin, kawawa ka. Kasi talagang hahanapin at hahanapin yun. Lalo na kung yun ang isa sa mga bagay na makakapag-support dun sa claim mo, dun sa resulta mo. Okay? Now, it will help you if you will be discerning in the choices of your sources. So, sinabi natin, palagi mong pipiliin yung reputable. At ayun na nga, peer-reviewed are the best and the most valid sources that you can get. And databases are an enormous resource for a literature review assignment. Ilan sa mga database na yan for the social science research ay yung ating ERIC, particularly sa education researches or educational researches, Google Scholar, and many more. No? And then, online abstract can be very useful as well. Pero you have to take note that they cannot become a standalone source of your information. You must read and cite the entire article. Okay? Make use of dictionary or online resources when looking up words that you may or you do not know. Hindi maaari yung nanguhula or hindi yung maaari nakita ko lang sa Wikipedia, ayun na ang ilalagay ko. Then finally, for the slide, use every search tool available to you. Nandiyan yung Google Scholar, and it can be useful if your professor allows internet research. Okay? Evaluating and interpreting research. Make use that your information is both reliable, accurate, and validated. Make use of peer-reviewed sources only. A good number of online sources which were recently written and published can be a good reference for correct and appropriate use of statistics. Kasi doon sa mga study na yun, makikita mo paano ba yung research problem? Paano ba yung state ng research question? Kapag ganito ba pagkaka-state ng research question, papaano or anong statistics ang gagamitin ko? Anong statistical tool ang nararapat dito? No? Next, no single research has to be the only source of all the information that you will place in your study. Maganda rin kung halimbawa yung ating mga related literature na nilalagay natin ay hindi positive lahat. No? Pwedeng sabihin natin, you put related literature that could contradict the positive claims because it's going to be very helpful. No? Kasi makikita doon ng reader na mayroong negative claims pero dahil sa pag-aaral namin at sa masinsing pag-aaral, we overcame those negative claims. So ibig sabihin, may napatunayan ka na tama at yung rigor at yung pagiging tama ng iyong paper. And finally, study the methodology used of other researchers and see if they can be applicable in your own situation. Ako madalas sinasabi ko sa mga estudyante ko na kapag halimbawa tayo ay nagsusulat, pinakamainam kung makakahanap kayo ng similar study na malinaw, madali, at kayang i-replicate yung methodology. Because if you're going to do that, parang yung work mo is already halfway done or tapos na siya, no? Or halos tapos na or nakakalahati ka na. Kasi isa sa mga pinakamahirap na hanapin kapag ikaw ay nagre-research ay yung tipong methodology, no? At nandun na rin yung materials, kompleto na. Pero pag nakakita ka ng similar study, no? Pwede na yon or may pwede ka ng paggayahan. Organizing and outlining. Sabi daw, organization is key to construction of an effective literature review. Once again, stick to peer-reviewed sources only. Ang problema kasi, there are RRL or review-related literature na parang roller coaster kapag binasa mo. Parang tataas, bababa, tataas. Hindi yung Kapag nagsulat tayo ng RRL, dapat directional. When you say directional, sabihin natin, ito yung topic na to, maybe sumunod is another related topic, maybe sumunod is a narrower topic, no? Ganon dapat ang ating pagsulat. Hindi yung may isang topic tayo dito, and then nagdagdag mo naman tayo ng ibang topic na hindi related sa sinundan niya, medyo magulo, no? Tsaka dapat lahat ng mga topic na yan ay may alignment na tinatawag para magkaroon ng tinatawag na coherence. Let your outline flow from your research. Ibig sabihin parang it's going to flow naturally. Then, good organization begins with thorough research. As in talagang you really have to spend enough time. Kaya nga sinasabing overnight daw or mabilisan. I beg to disagree. Hindi ako naniniwala. No? Siguro kung magaling talaga sila and maybe kung marami talaga yung manpower nila sa paghahanap ng research at doon sa mga nagpa-paraphrase, that could be possible. Pero it's still difficult. I still do not recommend that. Next, be diligent in your research notes. You really have to take down notes. Where you got it, what is the website, what's the title of the book, what's the title of the journal, and most importantly, what is the title of the article. Begin grouping your sources by topic, delimit them, and of course, proper follow sequence. Pay extremely good attention to key definitions as you do your research. Sabi daw, establish which studies are going to be most important for you, your review, and take more thorough notes on these studies. Paraphrase. Just get the main ideas, no? And then cite your resources. Avoid placing many quotations in your review of related literature and make sure you paraphrase because you're not going to put lots of quotation. Ang problema kasi, may ibang mga researches na as in talagang kinopya na yung verbatim, no, na pagkakasulat sa sentence and then nilalagyan na lang ng quotation mark. Puro ganun na lang. Wala nang sabihin nating own words ng author ng paper. Organizing and outlining. Write a topic outline before you begin drafting. No? Mamaya, ipakikita ko sa inyo yan gamit yung sarili kong research, yung part ng review of related literature. Sabihin natin, ano ba yung outline? You start with main ideas and then you follow with the subtopics. Okay? Ang turo sa akin when I was in the grad school, ang magandang pagkakasunod-sunod nito ay tignan mo yung title ng paper. Okay? Sabihin natin, you have this particular variables, dapat magkakasunod, no? At yun ang susundin mong sequence. Okay? Make sure that you are clear with your topic, make sure the reader see the importance of the study, and provide your definition of terminologies. Siyempre, makikita yan sa definition of terms. Engage in any theoretical discussions that are necessary for the logic of your literature review. Maaaring mag-isa ka na nagsusulat ng papel mo, pero it would also help if from time to time you are going to ask a friend to look at your paper. No? Pwedeng, classmate, pakibasa mo naman. Ano ang tingin mo? Para bang paikot-ikot yung aking isinulat? Or para bang magulo? Parang hindi mo ba siya maintindihan? Parang hindi mo makuha kung ano yung tinutumbok ng writer o yung ano yung sinasabi ko doon sa papel mo. No? Work on the raw version of your paper. This part of outlining will be considerably easier if you've done a good job organizing the data ahead of time. Better yet, you have the outline and then you read it. No? And then after reading it, you will decide na ay parang kulang pa to. Ay parang dapat mas nauna tong idea na to kesa doon sa isa pa. You read your own work. Kasi through that, you will realize things na hindi mo na-realize nung sinusulat mo pa siya. Totoo yun eh. May mga pagkakataon na gano'n. Kaya nga, ang pagsusulat ng review of related literature ay hindi madali. No? Totoo yun. Ngayon, syempre, gagawa tayo ng mga paraan sa kung saan mas mapapadali itong mga to. Kasi kapag hindi natin ginawa yun, yung bagay na mahirap ay mas lalo pang hihirap. No? Finally, keep in mind as you write your outline or yung para magkaroon tayo ng tinatawag na logical cohesion, no? Or logical alignment. at yung actual flow niya, because these are all important. Drafting strategies. Ano yung mga po pwede mong isaalang-alang pagka ikaw ay nagtadraft? No? Follow your topic outline as you write. Okay? Develop and maintain a logical progression. Parang isipin nyo daw yung parang tinatawag natin giant funnel. Now, although this paper is not a glorified list. Okay? Demonstrate consistencies in relationships between the literature you have studied. Okay? Hindi pwedeng naglagay ka ng idea sa isang paragraph, yung kasunod na paragraph hindi related sa isa. Not unless you are embarking or beginning on a new topic idea. Okay? So yun lang yung po pwede na hindi sila connected. But then, as much as possible, yung mga magkakasunod na paragraph, they must be related to one another. Kaya nga, it's the term, review of related literature. Next, make the implications of your information and any suggestions for further research as specific as possible. Okay? Whenever you ask other people to read, whenever they have suggestion, you ask them what specifically they wanted to see in your paper. No? Anong improvement yung gusto nilang makita doon sa papel mo. Now, I have here a sample paragraph with transitions because it's very important na meron tayong transition words para hindi nagtutunog monotonous yung iyong papel. Minsan nga, sasabihin natin, parang ano siya parang magkakaroon ng konti, parang nag-i-storytelling, but at a point na it's going to be a little bit formal because it's a technical writing activity and it's an academic paper. And at some point, kung sa graduate school or sa PhD, it is a professional work. So, kahit nasabihin natin parang nagkukwento ka, structured pa din. Okay? So, kaya nga may mga pagkakataon na dapat meron tayong mga transition, no? At hindi dapat maging monotonous yung iyong papel. Example, no? Let me read this to you. Akuzu and Akay stressed that the students find learning more fun if their teachers use innovative learning materials like narrative and models which provide an interesting visual and stimulating way of understanding and chemical abstract and complex. Take note that since I had this quoted directly, I did not paraphrase, I indicated the page number. Now, after that, I said, Guerra Ramos in 2011 has described the many advantages and disadvantages associated with using analogies to teach science and has provided some suggestions for science teachers when deciding to use analogies in their classroom. Okay? So kung nakita ninyo, actually, lahat yung dalawang preceding na statement, po pwede sana na yan ay napaliwanag ko or sinabi ko na lang na according to Akutsu and Akay or according to Guerra Ramos, po pwedeng ganun na lang ang nilagay ko, pero hindi. No? I made use of a number of transition words like stress, describe, and in this case dito, classify. Para hindi magkakaroon ng tinatawag nating umay yung ating reader. Okay? Now, for the introduction and conclusion, no? Kasi yung ating review of related literature, meron din siyang mga parts. Okay? Nandyan yung introduction, it contains the parts of the review of related literature. Okay? And anong mga parts sabihin natin? Ano yung mga ideas na dinidiscuss mo doon? No? Kung nandun sa review of related literature or sa chapter 2 yung tinatawag nating conceptual framework, ilagay mo. Okay? Kung nandun yung definition of terms, ilagay mo sa introduction. Usually, introduction, isang maiksing paragraph lang siya. For the thesis, shows the logical sequence of the ideas on the RRL. Pag sinabi nating thesis, this is your supposed proposition. This is your supposed idea. This is your hypothetical proposition. No? Ano ang tingin mo tungkol dun sa solusyon mo sa problema na yon? That is your thesis. No? That is your proposal. Okay? And then finally, you have the synthesis, wherein you summarize the ideas presented in the RRL, which will eventually lead to the gap of your study. Palagi mong ipo-point out, no, na walang study ang nagagawa pa or ginagawa pa patungkol dito. That's why your study is important. At kitang-kita yon doon sa mga review-related literature na binanggit mo doon sa RRL. Okay? Then finally, ito napaka-importanting tandaan, common mistakes to avoid in writing your RRL. Use of informal language, yung unang-una. Avoid the appearance of cheekiness or emotional appeal na para bang ikaw ay gumagamit ka ng mga slang, no? Or gumagamit ka ng sabihin natin. O yung parang napaka-informal yun. Remember, this is still a technical academic paper. Okay? Avoid plagiarism. Be mindful of your paraphrasing. Do not do it in haste. Huwag mo masyadong magmamahal. Tandaan natin na yung ating mga instructor, yung ating mga professor ay gumagamit sila ng mga tinatawag natin plagiarism software or check. Madami yan. Nagkalat. Do not rely on too much or too many quotations. Only quote those elements which made that most precision. Halimbawa, sabihin natin, sobrang iksi na ng sentence at pagka pinaraphrase mo, mawawala yung main idea or thought na huwag mo na ipapaphrase. Next, lack of clarity and cohesiveness or alignment. Your literature review should not sound that the reading is going through a list of facts. Yung parang nag-i-enumerate ka lang. Huwag ganon. Again, you may be acting as if you are doing a storytelling, pero wag naman yung tipong ikaw ay sabihin natin parang nag-i-enumerate ka lang. Kasi yun yung magiging boring no? Yung iyong paper. Well, we are saying that is important to express but not to express. Iba pa rin pagka sabihin natin yung writing mo ay may art. Kasi boring na nga yung part na yan Kasi sobrang haba ng part na yan. So, mas maganda pa rin kung halimbawang ito ay sabihin natin yun, gagamitan mo nga ng translation words and then hindi pa ulit-ulit or redundant yung mga ideas or yung mga words na gagamitin. Next, ayun. So, use transition words. And then, establish relationships among ideas. Again, you do not leave a paragraph alone without connecting it to its preceding paragraph and to its succeeding paragraph. And then, formulate the thesis of your paper. Alright? So, dear students and viewers, ito yung mga bagay na dapat nating tandaan. Now, let me just share with you my review of related literature. Okay? So, ito yung sample of review of related literature coming from my paper. So, ang sabi natin kanina doon, no, we said that this is the title, no, of that chapter, which is Review of Related Literature and Conceptual Framework. At kung makikita natin, we followed that there is the introduction part, which is here, no, na kung saan ang sabi ko dito is it contains ideas or studies on metacognition, analogies, student reflective thinking, and motivation in science. Gawa ng ito yung mga variables, no? Or yung mga ideas na related dun sa aking pag-aaral. At makikita rin natin na it also presents the conceptual framework, the hypothesis, and the definition of words. Dear students and viewers, this is the format that was prescribed to me during my time when I was working on the graduate school. And yun yung sinunod ko. And now, I have an introduction of how it looks like. Okay? Now, kung makikita natin kung ano yung sunod-sunod dun sa introduction ng mga ideas, ganun din ang ginawa ko. No? So, meron akong main idea dito, that is metacognition, and then I included here all the information about that coming from different journals, coming from different books, and coming from websites. Okay? So, kung makikita natin yung aking mga citation, no, kagaya nitong kay Cross and Paris, ay hindi ko nakakalimutan. Kasi ang common mistake ng mga estudyante ay isang buong bloke na ng paragraph, minsan isang buong page na, wala pa rin nakikita na citation. No? It will only mean to say na galing lang sa isang source yung iyong idea, which should not be the case. Kasi maganda kung galing ito sa iba't ibang mga researches and researchers, no? Kasi ibig sabihin nun, if a certain idea was found out to be true and correct by a certain group of researchers or set of researchers and expert, ibig sabihin, that idea is most likely correct. Okay? So, ganun po. So, ayan. Let me just scroll up, no? And then, kung makikita natin sa review-related literature, meron din tayong mga table, no? Kagaya ng sinabi natin, the table are supposed to be labeled correctly, no? At ito, wag nating kakalimutan na kung halimbawa we just lifted or copied it, we do not take for granted or we do not place the table yung tipong hindi natin in-indicate yung ating source, no? Okay, so ayan. Alright? So kung makikita rin natin, after yung table, nandun yung tinatawag nating explanation. Okay? So kailangan natin i-explain natin siya. Alright? Kung anong laman na yun, nung table na yun, at kung anong kinalaman nun doon sa ating study. Okay? So let me just go through the other parts. Okay? So kung nakikita natin, andyan yung mga citation, no? Punong-puno ng citation, okay? And then may mga pagkakataon din, no, na they are directly quoted. So ibig sabihin, I just took them directly, and therefore I have to indicate the page number. By the way, I am following the APA format 6th edition. Ayun, no? Meron din akong mga sinatawag natin mga related studies, no? Na galing sa mga thesis, no? By the way, ang thesis ay po pwedeng publish or unpublish, no? Pwede siyang pagkunan. Maliban lang, pag halimbawa, binigyan ka ng tip ng instructor mo or ng professor mo na yung thesis ay dapat galing, no? Sa isang, yung thesis ay na-publish. Take note of that. Palagi niyong tatandaan, sa pagsusulat ng RRL or Review of Related Literature at yung kabuuan ng papel, kung ano ang guidelines na binigay sa iyo ng professor mo, yun ang susundin mo. Okay? Alright. So, ayan pa, no? And then, take note, no? Since I am a teacher or a science teacher, ang ginawa ko, since I was talking about metacognition, I tried to relate metacognition to science education. Okay? Para mas mapalawak ko pa. Kasi ang idea kasi ng paper ko, gusto kong gamitin yung idea or concept ng metacognition doon sa pag-improve ng science education. Yung pagkatuto ng mga estudyante sa science. That's why I related metacognition with science education. So anong ginawa ko? I included researches, no, that could be talking about the use of metacognition in science education, and not only that, other studies, no, na po pwedeng gumamit din ng metacognition in improving the learning in science of the students. Okay? So let me just scroll up. Okay? Ngayon, may mga pagkakataon na sabihin natin, you wanted to highlight a specific idea which is written in one sentence, po pwede mo siyang i-italic. Or, pagka may mga pagkakataon that you're going to use the vernacular or in Filipino, mas maganda o mas may dating pagka nakalagay siya sa Filipino, po pwedeng ayan siya, nakalagay siya or naka-italic siya. Okay? So, move pa natin. Ayan. Okay? And then, di ba, may variable ako ng reflective thinking in science. Kung napunan ninyo sa introduction, bandang pahulyan. Kaya tingnan nyo, last part siya no review of related literature. Okay? Ayan. So, ilang pages daw po yan, sir? 30 pages. Ang inabot. O 37 pages if I remember correctly. But take note, dear students, na hindi ito sa paramihan ng papel, no? Kundi substantial na ba? Or sapat na ba yung information na nandun? No? Lahat na ba yung ideas that will support my claim in my study? No, later on, pati sa pag kinu-request siya sa mga results yan, is it going to be okay already? Or sapat na ba? Okay? So kung nakita ninyo, sinama ko rin dito yung conceptual framework. Okay? So bago yung conceptual framework, I explained it first, no? And then you have the conceptual framework here, which is usually in the form of concept map, no? Kagaya nito, no? Ayan. And then you have the research hypothesis. Okay? Kung mapupunan natin yung research hypothesis, ito ay dapat palaging in line with the research questions or the statement of the problem. Okay? And then, of course, you have the definition of terms. Okay. All right. So this is how our review of related literature looks like. Now, dear students and fellow professionals, we might think that writing the review of related literature is something that is really difficult. I am not going to deny that. It is really difficult. But one thing is sure. This is a very important part of the research paper because this is going to become the building blocks or this is going to become the backbone of your claims in your paper. That's why you have to do it with precision and we say accuracy. Okay? And I would like to acknowledge some of the sources that I have included in the paper, which is the Centerville University, no? Which is the website wherein I took some information about the review of related literature, and I hope you enjoy writing or the process of writing of your review of related literature. And I hope, dear students and our dear viewers, that you watch out for more videos of the Bibbo project about research, world history, and other trivia that could be very entertaining to you. Please click like, subscribe, and the notification bell kung nagustuhan po ninyo or may natutunan kayo sa ating episode sa araw nito. Muli, this is Teacher Alfred and maraming salamat at magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Paalam!